From Puebla, it's Austin, Texas. This is Stacker.News Live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker.News Live. My name is Carl from BBF Keyan. We're going to have an exciting show today. I can feel it already.
Oh.
There's so much stuff going on in the world of Bitcoin, the world of AI. Yeah, man. And then there's stuff going on in Ukraine that we have to report on. It's a full show. You're going to get, if you're a stacker listening to this for the first time, you're welcome. You're going to get a full rundown of everything that's been going on in Stacker News, minus the saloon stuff. I feel like somebody should do a report on the saloon. I feel like that would be a whole segment.
Oh.
Anyways, outside of that, Keyan, how's it going?
Oh, it's going okay. Yeah. I have some beer here from Ted, Space Ted. He went to Starbase.
Oh, did he really? Is that the beer from Starbase?
These are beers from Starbase.
Wow. What's the name of that beer? Is it called Elon?
No, it's called Starbase Brewing.
Oh.
I don't know I don't know if they're associated exactly with Starbase or like Elon has a stake or whatever, but he got some beers from them and I'm drinking them.
He gets a kickback. You never know, right?
Yeah. I went to an AI meetup this week, my first Austin AI meetup to like since they stopped doing at the Bitcoin Commons, they stopped doing the BitDevs, although Scoresby has continued the BitDevs. They replaced it with an AI meetup that meets every other week that Austin was running, and it was good. I liked it a lot. It's kind of cool. He made he like vibe coded meetup presentation software where he like puts all the stories. That's what I think I saw. I should have asked him about it, but he puts all the stories in, and then it's like a slideshow. So it's like Stacker News? It makes him like a slideshow. No, it makes him a slide. Stacker News is like a slideshow. But he puts all the stories in like some kind of program that he wrote himself, and then he can just kind of go next to next. Because like usually with most of the BitDevs that I've been to, it's like tabs in a browser.
It's for the BitDevs or for the...
This is for his AI meetup. One. His AI meetup.
Okay.
And yeah, it was at like they had like a round table. I don't know how they usually do it, but it was in HRF's like Freedom Fab or something. The old Club Lab is where which is no, I think it's a few of them working out of there. Not
who works out of there.
I actually don't know. I'm told that my old office is where most of the people work. Because that we were in a suite that had two offices, and my office was a little bit bigger than the other one, and it has this crazy window in it, which is awesome, which I miss dearly, but just a window. It was like it had 45 degrees on it. You could see it's in some of the old podcasts we did. But apparently Justin Moon, who runs their like Freedom Lab stuff, I think. And then I think Paul, who's been working with them, Future Paul, and I think Ben.
The good old gang.
The old gang.
Yeah.
Gang. Yeah. I mean, Justin and Ben ran BitDevs for years, and then Ben and Buck ran it.
Yeah, like it's just Ben, Justin, Paul, Tony, the usual gang.
Yeah, I don't know if Tony's in there. I don't really know. That was my first time being in there since we've left, and yeah, they managed to get the doors unlocked and the elevator.
Oh wow!
Like so that you could go up it automatically, which they had a lot of trouble doing when the Bitcoin meetup was there. So good on Jack. It seems like he's made progress communicating with the building. But it was a fun meetup. I mostly just my role there is asking, like, what is LoRa? What is I think there was another one. I was like attention, something about attention.
Oh, got it.
And what does it mean? Because there was like some new model release, I think, from NVIDIA that did something interesting with attention. But it was a nice meetup. Otherwise, I don't know. We're fighting fungal gnats in the office. Car's still on his phone, so I'm just gonna keep talking. We're fighting fungal gnats in the office. We're deploying. I mean, it's not unlike the story we'll talk about with Peter Todd, where we're at war with these fungal gnats.
we need someone to send us some shit coins.
We're doing everything we can. We have vinegar traps, We have an ultraviolet trap. We have a dichotomous earth we put on the top of some of my plants. Nematodes. We have, biological warfare it's getting serious. So
See, people always ask me, they're like, "Does Keyan talk?" And I'm like, "You have no idea how much he talks. He loves to talk sometimes." This is the stackers getting to see how you talk.
oh,
You like to talk. But people
know.
think you're just super quiet. I'm like, no, he's not a quiet guy. He has to be in certain like things have to match up. You start talking. That's a compliment.
So.
I'm giving you a compliment.
I mean, I don't think it was a compliment, but yeah, it was definitely not an insult. I get it. It was.
People always ask me, they're like, "Does Keyan talk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he does talk." But
yeah, it depends.
This is you when you like to talk.
Yeah. I have high variability of self.
People always ask me all the time. I'm like, "Yeah, he loves to talk."
Yeah. Anyway, I can talk.
It's true.
I'm capable of it.
If you've never seen this crazy show before, it's called Stacker.News Live. We cover the top 3 stories on Stacker.News, front page of Bitcoin. And what's the other slogan? I forget the other slogan. What?
Money is the moderator.
Money is the moderator. That slogan. And then, check it out. We're on YouTube. See if we can go there now. If you type in Stacker, Stacker N comes up first. Boom. We're right there. Click on it. Wumble drops clips here every week. We drop shorts. There's a lot of funny videos. No outtakes from the show, but we could do them.
We could record like the 10 minutes we sit here before the show.
Yeah, we could record that if we wanted to. But there's a lot of stuff. Check it out. And
almost at 700, huh?
Yeah, we're getting close. I'm telling you, the show's growing pretty good. Pretty good. Anyways, we're gonna jump into the top 3 stories.
Well, how was your week? I didn't get to ask.
How was my week? Oh man, what did I do this week? Yeah, just a lot of work. Yeah, just a lot of work because we're rolling out the Plug TV stuff. So I gotta get that stuff. I'm gonna talk a little bit about more of the show. So there's that, and then the other one was all the startup day stuff, getting that ready.
For Guadalajara.
And then have a separate project that we're trying to get off the ground. So that one's separately, and then it's a bear market, and which leads us right into this first story here, which is, so you want to work in Bitcoin. This is from Totally Human Writer, 40 comments, 11,000 stats. Keyan, it's a bear market. What do you think?
Yeah, totally Human Writer wrote about their experience working in Bitcoin, and it's pretty awesome. I think they do a great job of describing the situation, and I think putting the right level of fear in people who might be wanting to work in Bitcoin, like a real level of fear around like the reality of it. Like you're going to be engaged with work that you perhaps like a lot more, and you feel like is worth putting your life into, like your time into, but the returns in terms of money and like the level of effort that you're going to put into it, or maybe not what you might expect, or certainly going to not line up with the soul crushing job you had. That's like kind of the trade you're making, is you can work in the fiat land and have a soul crushing job and make pretty good fiat money, but you come into Bitcoin and the situation's a bit different. It's not soul crushing anymore, but it's hard, very hard. And yeah, the financial rewards are tied, in some cases, tied to Bitcoin price. If you're like freelancing, if you're working with companies in Bitcoin that go in and out of business and stuff, I mean, I imagine it's somewhat like just working in like Silicon Valley and working with startups, but even perhaps more constrained because Bitcoin is Bitcoin and like even more variable, probably more like working in the oil industry, and how there's like a lot of seasonality and has bull and bear markets in that sector. Anyway, I thought it was a great, if you're considering working in Bitcoin, I think it's well worth reading and considering the thoughts there. And I think it's very well like measured. It's like balanced. It's not, but but he does a good. He's part of the problem is like you come into Bitcoin with a lot of passion, and you begin believing that you want to work in it, and it can be you can kind of blind yourself to the reality of it, and considering the things that he says that are obvious once you read them, but not obvious when you're in that mindset of like I'm going to change the world, and my life is going to be better in every possible way. There are like no trade-offs. Anyway,
I thought it was a really good post. I didn't post on it or anything or say anything because I wanted to save my thoughts for the show, but I think he touches pretty much everything exactly right. I'm kind of wondering who this person is because does it say who Totally Human Writer is?
Oh yeah, you can definitely.
Oh wow, so it actually has a picture of him.
Yeah.
Oh, let's shout him out then. Totally Human Writer. Check out his website. Yeah, I thought it was a really good. I didn't know that he had doxed himself. I thought it was a really good post. I mean, for me, I'm super biased to this idea, but I've been saying it for about 5 years now at this point. Like, I think that's why Plub Lab is so important, is because you can come to a Plub Lab on a Tuesday when it's Open Hackerspace Day and talk to everybody and get to know people. And yeah, it's just having a good community accelerator inside of Bitcoin is like such a easier way to get into the ecosystem than I would say just going to a conference or something personally. But that's where I think of like Plub Lab is like it's such a great place to, if you want to work in Bitcoin or if you want to start your own company, just come here first. There's been so many hundreds of people at this point that have come through Plub Lab, have started their careers, started their companies through here in one way or another. So it's just, that's the first thing I thought. Thank God we built Plub Lab.
Definitely being part of a hub or a community or finding a cluster of Bitcoiners can accelerate your journey, and you can avoid some of the like moving around that you might otherwise have to do. One of the things he mentions here is like the expenses for traveling to conferences, and those are kind of infrequent, and it's a lot of work to go to a conference and and expensive to get a hotel, and everyone has their own agenda when they're at a conference, although people are pretty prepared for networking. But yeah,
because I would say like if you're a pleb, like I feel like for devs, there's pretty much a path there for you. You can go to Chain Code, you can go to like some of these other open source and like nonprofit places that you can go to. I feel because right perfectly for devs. But if you're just a pleb who's super passionate about Bitcoin, I don't know of another place besides Plub Lab that allows you to do that. Personally, that's why I'm such a big believer in Plub Lab. It's what I do. Coop.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, obviously, I like it. I'm here every day. We were talking about it before the show. I get a lot of value from it.
Yeah, the bear market. I would say the bear markets are the toughest part. Like I'm feeling it personally this month. Like I had like a part-time job that they lost money or they ran out of money, and so now cars on the chopping block. I'm trying to get a part-time job. So, but yeah, bear markets are the worst for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they definitely change things in Bitcoin. And I think, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it online and just like the way people
that's why people are angry.
Yeah, people get upset.
So people lose their jobs. They're like, "Hey, today was my last day," blah blah blah, and like all that kind of stuff.
Something that was not mentioned in this is the lack of women. That was Car and I were talking about this before. But
well, you were talking about.
That's right.
I was just listening.
That's right. You don't have.
I was talking about the chicks next door. You were talking about
chicks
in Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, but I was saying that like that might be one of the reasons why Bitcoin, like the community, can get so feisty and there can be so much conflict, is there aren't like women to create the chill.
Well, there's no resources for women in Bitcoin. Let's be honest. Like women love a lot of resources. If there aren't any in the ecosystem, they're not gonna. Do you know what I mean? That's why there's very few women in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I would not know why there are very few women in Bitcoin. It might
I
be.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think I've heard other women say.
Oh, so dudes are more. They like austerity.
Dude, we all have like maybe one chair. I have like one chair. Like most people don't. Most guys in Bitcoin can operate with way less than they probably should.
I see. So there's like less comforts in Bitcoin.
It's just not
like
resource abundant. It's not resource abundant for certain people during bear markets. It's kind of weird too, because when you go through like during the bull run, dude, I was living it up. But like during the bear market, it's like the polar opposite. It's like completely the polar opposite of what that lifestyle of living is compared to now. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I never really understood that. I mean, I think
It's true though.
I definitely see it among people. I
Like
don't.
all the memes are true. You get a girlfriend during the bull market. You have like all this money thrown at, like it's just all true. And then in a bear market, it's completely the opposite. It's like you got to humble yourself, or Bitcoin humbles you.
You could just stay humble. I think that's the origin of some of the memes. You can stay humble through the bull market and never,
but no one's
stay
ever,
without a girlfriend.
You build up,
continue to be poor.
Build up those 3 years to be
approach.
not humble in the bull market.
I see. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying this is kind of like what I've seen. But
for sure, it's a different world a little bit during the bear market. But I think it washes out a lot of people, and I think.
But that's by that's by design though. It's to bring in new, fresh ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional, but I definitely think it's beneficial to Bitcoin in general to not be always going up. To have these periods where if anyone is fake or phony or only here for the ride up, they will lose interest. They will transition to another technology until, of course, Bitcoin is on the rise again, and then they're trying to figure out how they can use that to their advantage, because they're maybe still a Bitcoiner. But anyway, it's a good reality check. Something I hope it's something people come across and read. Sometimes
there was a good comment by Ben Carmen here. Let me show you.
Oh yeah.
So he had a really good comment, which there he goes. All right, now that's Den's. Let me see, where's Ben? Yeah, here's Ben. Ben says working in Bitcoin is a blessing and a curse. It's amazing, but it wears you down much faster. Bitcoin can sometimes feel like a chore or just a job and no longer a passion. My beliefs about Bitcoin haven't changed, but thinking about Bitcoin literally 24/7 will eventually make you not want to think about it at all. What do you think about that? I think he's 100% right on that.
I don't think that's
100%
so.
right.
I thought about this comment quite a bit. I also read it, I think, a few days ago, and I think he originally posted it. And I think that isn't true if Bitcoin is like growing. If Bitcoin's price is rising and there's new fresh blood in it, and the women are showing up to meetups, and
what's with you and women?
No, I think it's just when the resources are there, like that's what I'm saying more or less.
That's what you mean by it.
No, but there's like new people in it, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
I think if you can draw energy from the crowd, I don't think this is true. And so I think most of what he's saying here is like the like cycles in Bitcoin and the bear markets and the like negative feelings that come up and the conflict that happens in the community. That's all very draining. And I would agree with that, of course. But I think you can like partition yourself away from a lot of the negative stuff and continuing to Bitcoin on, and not have such a hard time.
I hear your point. I hear your point, and I think it's the same thing he's saying.
I don't think we disagree. Just a different perspective, and
I think the only thing that I've come to realize, like this Ben, and I haven't talked to him about this, which is kind of weird, but because Ben doesn't seem like it ever bothers him for some reason. He doesn't seem like a guy that's burnt out. But I would say though, for me personally, it's about pacing yourself. I've come to realize, like literally pacing yourself, like whatever it is you're trying to do in Bitcoin or accomplish, just like pace yourself. And I feel like that is a way that I've been able to curb that since the beginning of 2025. I would say I implemented that. And I feel like for me now, I feel like Bitcoin's doing more for me than I'm doing for Bitcoin, if that makes any sense. Not in like a money way, more like in
an emotional,
draining, passionate way. Because I feel like when I came out the gate, it was just all passion, and then now it's feel like it's like tempered passion. It's like, okay, we got to sprint here, kind of slow down. Like it's just more pacing yourself, because like you plan on doing this the rest of your life, you're not gonna like just, try not to burn yourself out. It's a marathon.
It's true. I think another aspect of this is like the like media channels that you're paying attention to. I think are contribute to this to some degree, because I don't think if you're reading like the mailing lists exclusively and you're maybe participating on delving, that you're getting a lot, that you're feeling quite drained from Bitcoin, because it's just Bitcoining in that case. But if you're on X and you're kind of seeing all of the kind of slop that is coming out and like the conflict of BIP 110 versus whatever, and dev drama and AI, lots of AI hype in contrast to all of this internal Bitcoin conflict, that's extremely draining, because it's like, why am I in this swamp of conflict and people calling people liars and all kinds of bad faith arguments if I can just go and contribute to AI and be part of the hype cycle there? And so I think that is probably a big aspect of it. So I think you can preserve your energy and do better. Pace yourself. You can pace yourself better by not paying so much attention to kind of these like high engagement media channels.
And also, just for the record, for the stackers that are new to all this kind of like drama and stuff like that, it's always the same people. That's what's cool, is like once you figure out the same people, the same groups, it's just like, if it's not this thing, it'd have been another thing. If it's not this thing 3 years ago, it'd have been another thing 3 years. It's like, it's always the same people. So that's why I'd say like you'll come to realize after a while that same people making the same noise, doing the same things, fighting for the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like yeah. I think people get that point. Anyways, let's jump into the number 2. Wait, number 2? Wait, hang on, where am I at? Number 2 top story this week. It's
Did you lose it?
No, I lost it right there. The situation in Kramatorsk, Ukraine, part 2, from Peter Todd, 19 comments, 17,000 sats. Keyan, where's Peter Todd traveling this week?
The same place. This is, I think, a continuation of the same story that we covered. I think it was the last week or the week before, but he kind of expands on his time there, specifically the time that was spent, I think, before or after. I think it was after he delivered the Toyota Hilux truck, and he starts by they're going to find a Starlink. That's like one of the common requests that they have, of course, is to get internet for some of the troops there that are serving, and perhaps, I mean, even for military operations, I imagine they can use a Starlink. And so he finds one. That's the first picture here, is of a place that has one in stock, and apparently it was hit by a glide.
This one here?
This one here. Yeah, there was a glide bomb that hit, I think he said 15 kilometers away, or no.
Oh, this is the explosion of the windows. The explosion of the windows is from the explosion?
Yeah, there was a glide bomb nearby, and it broke a lot of the windows. Works? Yeah, he said it was new. He said it was he said the last time he was here, the windows were not broken.
Dude, I've never seen boarded up windows from the inside like that. That's wild.
Yeah, he shows, like, later he shows a like a gas station, and how they're like defending a gas station against drone attacks.
This one?
Yeah, that one. So this is what they've done.
What is that over
at the gas station?
Oh, that looks like
just sandbags. I think another one he has. They show how the I forget what you call it, but the actual
tanker.
Yeah, what do you call the thing that's out of the ground where you have the tube coming out of it that you put in your car?
Gas station.
The pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fuel pump is like inside that other bunker that they also made. Yeah.
Wild. This looks, you know what this reminds me of? Like 28 Days Later, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it probably 28 Days Later was probably modeled on some level after actual Warzone, or our memory, like our collective memories of Warzone.
Red stuff here. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. What else is he's he's with some soldiers who are taking some time like away from the front lines, and they go to a coffee shop and just trying to like kind of re-engage with kind of normal life to the extent that they can while expecting to go back. These are some.
What is that? Is it fanny pack or?
Yeah, he says this in the context of people who experience concussions as a result of being near like a drone strike, and having experienced concussion from the explosion of that, and the way they think about it. Here's him at, I think, at a coffee shop with some other soldiers, and his friend Sarah, I think, is in the upper right there, who I think is a medic.
They look relatively happy.
Yeah, he said that they're happy and
good spirits.
Yeah, they're in good spirits. They're taking a break, and
I wonder if there's a lot of praying that goes on in these areas. What do you think?
I would imagine so. Probably more so than in non-war zones. This is a picture of wet wipes that they use in lieu of a shower.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's apparently a very coveted item.
Is water pretty scarce over there? Did they say? Or
it's not water. I just think they can't get access to like a shower. It's not like I don't think they're, if you're on the front lines of a war, I don't think you're showering much. But you probably do want to be hygienic.
So what are these here?
Yeah, this is an area. Anticipation of the front lines moving further. And so he records that. And then, of course, this is a street that is completely netted to prevent drone strikes. I guess a lot of the drone strikes that are happening in this area are fiber drones, which means they have
right. They still have the nets up there, remember?
Yeah.
From the last
one, they had the nets.
Wow.
And then here is him recording, I think, in the morning when he woke up. There was he doesn't show any video because he's too close to the front lines and he doesn't want to. It's like
his location,
somewhat of a secret location.
Yeah.
And so he just this is just kind of audio.
Yeah, you can hear it on the pod, I think.
Yeah, of drones, but he can't. He was trying to see them from the apartment building that they were in. It's crazy. Yeah.
Sounds scary, man. Oh wow, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
That's like if a building like just fell over here in Austin. That's what that sounds like. Yeah, it just sounds like it's wild.
Yeah, I think this apartment is.
Even the birds are fleeing, dude.
Yeah, 15. I think he said 15 kilometers or so from the front line. So they're a ways out from where the war should actually be happening. But he's saying that Russia is still deploying drones, fiber drones in this area.
Oh yes, more video. Wow.
Yeah, so this is the next morning on the road we were showing with the barbed wire. They then pass a vehicle that was hit with a drone on that same street. I wonder what happens to the tires. Did they burn up?
No, I'm more like concerned about them. Like you see a drone up and you keep going. Like that's wild, dude. Turn around.
I think that happened at some
You're
other
going
point.
the wrong way. Like, look, there's like a few of them over there. That's insane, dude. It looks like there's a car coming up there. Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's why it's netted is because it's a popular road.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to think that we have a Bitcoin, a former Bitcoin Core developer. Is he former Bitcoin Core?
I think.
Or no?
I don't know. I forget.
He's contributed to Core, right?
Yeah, he's definitely always engaging in the discussion and stuff. I don't know his exact status as it relates to Bitcoin Core, but he's always participating in the mailing list and contributing ideas. So, yes, a very well-known contributor to Bitcoin.
Look at this. What is this?
It's another road, I think. I think he said the drone activity is lessened by weather. So during rain and stuff, the cameras on the drones are impaired. So you can feel a little more confidently about going out.
Why is that?
What is what about?
Did you see that blue car? Just like
it's just like an older vehicle. What is that? Probably like early 80s, late 70s.
It looked like it wasn't trying to hit that truck though.
Oh, I think it's pivoting around a pothole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like a significant pothole there.
That's wild.
Because it's an older car. It doesn't have like
Good brakes.
no, it has brakes, but it doesn't have like great shocks and stuff. I love old cars like that. I love that like generation of cars.
Hey, look, it's just like the other truck's not stopping either. Maybe like semi brake. Wow. Anyways, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is him. I guess he's in a basement at a restaurant, and he said there's a lot of great like basement restaurants. Obviously, that's kind of one of few locations that would be probably preserved as a restaurant.
There's like no one in there. Crazy.
So the food was good. He went and bought, I think, a laptop for someone that was on the front lines who needed one. They were doing like a variety of intelligence work, aerial intelligence work, and they needed a new laptop. So they went and got a laptop. I think that's what he plans to spend. Any donations that are given to him is on more laptops. This last one is like there was someone who was leaving the front lines and going back to the EU to keep their visa active in the EU. They were from they had joined the front lines from while on a visa in the EU, so they need to go back. But that's the blacked out faces. That this is him showing a region I think that was hit by a drone, and him beginning to discuss that he wants to collect some fiber cable. And
is that fiber cable right there? Or is that what?
No, I don't know exactly what that's showing on that map there, but this is them going into a convenience store, and the person he's with, Sarah, still has a gun in order to shoot a drone if they see it. But then a video after this is him collecting fiber. So we'll have a drone, because the range of like wireless communications can be jammed and stuff. The drones will often fly with a fiber optic cable attached to it, just a single fiber like this. And that's how they communicate with the drone over very long distances. And here he is gathering some of the fiber to, I don't know what he plans to do with it, he didn't say, but maybe analyze it, maybe. I'm not sure.
Well,
And then Sarah tells him to cross the street because they're kind of too exposed there. And Sarah's worried that they don't have anywhere to like find cover if a drone appears in the sky. So they cross over to where there's areas where they can hide.
I wonder how close that has to be for the drones.
It talks quite a bit about like the value of the target being hit. And so they talk sometimes about like jumping out of cars, because sometimes whoever's behind the drone maybe just wants to destroy the car because that's like a higher value target than the person. And so sometimes getting out of the car can help.
I was watching that. Have you ever seen Running Man, the new Running Man?
I have seen it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's all like kind of drones and freaking wild, dude.
It seems to be the way warfare is going. Even the non-drone weapons he discusses, like glide bombs, that's like a modern war technology. That is not something that was used because it's kind of drone-like.
And what's this? This is the last of this is kind of where they ended up right here.
I don't know exactly what that last picture is. I forget.
Crazy stuff.
Anyway, yeah, this is another part 2 of Peter Todd's visit to the front lines in Ukraine and him bringing them resources. And we get a lot of
people asking questions.
Yeah.
Well, that was a journey. Every time he does these, I'm just like, man, this is
it's intense, eh?
Yeah, it is. Just reading through it and pray that Peter's okay and his friends are okay. Because it's nuts. Couldn't imagine that, man.
Yeah, people trying to kill other people. It's a thing.
Well, do you know if there's gonna be a part 3 or there's gonna be a part 4?
I don't know. I don't think he didn't cap it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to check out the previous post, he did a previous post, part 1, and we covered that on Stacker.News Live. Check that out. And then this is part 2, and then he's also posting it on Twitter, I believe, too, as well. So follow him. We're gonna jump into the number 1 story this week. It is forensic analysis. How Finney actually missed the Bitcoin launch. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah. So Raw Avocado, I think, was inspired by a Dustin Trammell tweet where Dustin Trammell said that he wasn't sure if he might have been before Hal Finney or not. And so Raw Avocado took this tweet. This is my own story. I'm telling myself about this. Took this tweet and then went and looked very closely at early Bitcoin activity and tried to find any evidence of early Bitcoin activity and to determine whether Hal Finney was actually first or Dustin Trammell was first following Satoshi. And the main evidence he uses are the logs that Hal ended up publishing online. I think after a node crash that he had, and he analyzes those logs to see what nodes that Hal Finney nodes connected to, and basically rules out that there was that anyone was before Hal Finney other than Satoshi on Bitcoin's network, because there was Satoshi with a ClearNet IP and a Tor IP, and then there basically was Hal, but there was no one else as far as he could detect, and so it was likely that Dustin Trammell came later than Hal, even though Dustin Trammell says that he was quite early on the network but just wasn't mining yet, because you had to enable mining in your Bitcoin configuration. There's a lot of cool details I didn't know about this, but I guess early Bitcoin nodes discovered each other through an IRC chat. I think Bitcoin software itself would connect to IRC and look for IP addresses there. I didn't look much more deeply into this, but that was pretty new to me.
Is there anything here in the comments? It's some more stuff.
Oh, I didn't actually get too deep into the comments. He has a great video kind of summarizing. He said he spent a year on it, just kind of polishing it. Great video kind of summarizing all the research he did. And then he created a website, like a whole website just for this research project, which is a cool convention. Let me see if I see anything in the comments, though.
There's like a link here from new research.
Yeah, it looks like there's people asking about the details of it. I think there was just some questions around whether Hal Finney was actually the first or not, and I think he presented new evidence that points towards yes, he was actually the first user other than Satoshi. But I didn't realize Dustin Trammell was that early. That was also new.
Well, it's always wild to me that because there's Trammell Ventures here in town, and every once in a while you see Dustin like at Bit Block Boom, or you just see him around every once in a while, and it's always like kind of like a weird, like oh shit, like he was that early. But anyway, I always, every time I see him, I always have that initial thought. I don't know why. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, no. Yeah. It's potentially the second user after Hal. I would be curious about that research. I wonder if Raw Avocado might do that next. Is Dustin actually the second user after Hal, or might there have been someone else before? And he also uncovers a Stefan Livera podcast where he interviews Dustin, which I hadn't seen. I still haven't seen it, but I didn't know it even existed. But yeah, he is present in the community here occasionally. And
yeah, you'll see him. I've seen him. Haven't seen him in like 2 years, but yeah, he was a big fan of Plub Plub, what we were doing last time I saw him. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, that's everything for this week. We're gonna jump into our sponsor, Bitcoin Education Archive. Let me see if I can go here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't played this yet, you probably should. But before I jump into showing you everything, we need to cover what we had last week. So apparently last week, Phil, Need Creation, said, he goes, "Love it, gentlemen. I know you guys are still in the early stage of exploring our app. I know it can be overwhelming, but just correct a couple things I heard you say," which was basically me saying it. He said, "Max stats you can claim per day is actually 500. So I stand corrected. You can actually claim it's 500 sats every day. But you can earn infinite XP per day. So theoretically, with enough XP and persistence, you can log in and claim 500 sats every day in perpetuity." He said, "Secondly, the donate section you stumbled upon, that is where users can actually donate their XP. And where users earn 100 sats for 1,000 XP. So yeah, you can donate your XP, which turned into sats and vice versa." So he said, "Excited for y'all to keep exploring each week. Thank you, Phil." But yeah, we're checking it out today. Keyan, what do you want to learn about? I'm a Bitcoiner. I want to learn about philosophy, building, and geopolitics. Let me start exploring.
Wow, those are way different subjects than I would have picked.
Yeah, there you go, right here. So you can check out here. There's a recommended path here for Nachos Trails. I love nachos. You can go here where you can get a daily spin. And there's some other cool stuff like Time Shape TV, where he curates a bunch of Bitcoin content. And he has more features like the chat. He was telling me that he just presented at Camp Nakamoto last week, this app. So he was doing it live. But yeah, check out a couple cool things. Let's check out the daily spin. And I can go here and I can actually spin. You want 2 orange tickets. Awesome. Hey, I'm Nacho, your Bitcoin guy. That's amazing. First things first, what are you curious about? Boom, there you go. Just that easy. Bitcoin Education Archive. Check it out right here on the left side. You can see there's a ton of stuff that you can learn. You can check out the Bitcoin price. And then there's tons of resources here. But I think it's one of those things where I've come to realize at this point, look, Nacho approves down here. You can't see it, but I think this is just one of those websites where you just kind of have to go there and explore, especially if you're somebody who's new to Bitcoin and you want a fun way to show maybe your kids or maybe like a teenager. This feels something that would probably, maybe spark something, especially if they're like on an iPad, they can just kind of view it all. But anyways, check it out, bitcoineducation.quest, and good way to earn extra sats every day. All right, with that, we're going to jump into Womble's picks. Every week we cover Womble's picks here on Stacker.News. This week, Womble actually has a doozy. Let me see if I can switch over. There we go. Womble has a doozy this week. Cloud identity verification starts July 8th. What facial data Anthropic collects? This is from Scoresby. 11 comments, 1,587 sats. Keyan, did you read through this or you want to just vibe it?
I did not actually read through it.
Don't you use Claude though?
I do use Claude.
Did you get an update or something that says, "Hey, buddy"?
Since it hasn't happened yet, so that I don't know. I didn't actually look too deeply into this. I think that OpenAI had done this in the past for some of their products. So I think specifically their cybersecurity product. It seems like Anthropic will be doing this too, probably under the guise of cybersecurity as well. And yeah, I think this is generally bad. It seems like if you were paying someone to give you, we'll cover this later in one of my stories, but if you're paying someone to give you service and the service is kind of essential for life, that seems to be a reason for, they seem to be able to justify, and the government seems to be able to justify requiring you to give personally identifiable information to them, which is.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the technology is this like Do you think the AI technology that these frontier labs are doing are like this much of a threat to governments
I
that they
don't.
have to KYC?
I'm not sure it's a. I'm not sure how much of a threat it is to government, and I'm not sure if the threat is like super massive. If it's like buying a nuclear weapon,
Yeah.
like you need a KYC to buy a nuclear weapon or something. But I do. I think it's more so like at work, like at best, it's like a gun, maybe. And you can, like I said, you can kind of maybe draw a comparison between gun
So
laws
what kind
and
of gun though? Are we talking like?
I would guess that most people plan to use it for personal protection. So we're talking like
Okay.
like a Glock, like a kind of basic Glock. But what is that? What is the common Glock? It's like a G20 or something.
It's your analogy.
Yeah, sorry.
You're drifting.
I'm drifting. But there, yeah, I mean,
So I can see that. You're saying you could see it as being a potential weapon, but mostly it's just.
I think that's where they're coming from.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the other side. Obviously, it's hard for me because I'm on the other side, but I think it's good to understand like all angles.
I don't. Yeah, why?
From a
I think
technologist standpoint,
it's mostly if they want to know if like someone is using it to do harm to someone else. If someone is using Claude or OpenAI or whatever to do harm to someone else, they want to be able to give that information to law enforcement. It's the same reason they KYC,
like if you're
the
buying a gun
financial
at
sector.
Academy or something, you're going to KYC them, right? It's kind of the same thing. Or you go to Walmart and you buy a shotgun in Texas.
Same reason your bank KYCs you, because it's mostly so they can report you to the government if
but
they
it's also
suspect
they
something
can
weird
just,
is going
they can
on.
control you too. So there's that.
Who controls you?
The government. It's another.
I just think it makes their job easier. That's why they like. That's what the
it's
government.
more like laziness.
That's my own personal take on why the government likes KYC is because it costs them nothing, but they get to write a law that says everyone else in the economy has to do this for us, or submit to the laws and KYC, and it just makes our job easier. We can kind of automate more of our work, and we can collect relatively big pensions and checks and stuff from taxes that are paid to the government and money we print, and our job is actually just getting easier over time rather than harder.
So it looks like like this is more going to be like a trigger thing. So depending on the type of account that you have and how you're using it, your account will get flagged. Then you have like a 30-day window to verify. Then at that point, if you don't verify, then you can get some sort of access, a range from access restrictions to full account suspension. So it looks like it's going to be like one of those things: flag you, 30-day window, KYC, and then if you don't do that, then you might get
I think conditions are sort of irrelevant. I assume that eventually it'll just be like full KYC.
Yeah,
I don't see why it wouldn't be if we've gotten here this fast.
Yeah. Wumble had a question. Wumble's question this week was: do you think KYC requirements will create enough onboarding friction for a significant number of people to stop using Claude? I would say 100%.
I would say no, absolutely not. I think most people just KYC, and maybe the AI labs will do a pretty good job with KYC and make it even better than all the exchange apps that Bitcoiners KYC into.
Well, I mean, that's why you have like people like doing stuff like Proton, the Maple stuff. Like, you're always going to have those options available. So I think for some people that will be enough of a friction point to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they don't need frontier capabilities, perhaps, and they care about their privacy more than that. They might switch over, but there is a cost paid for using frontier models. They are a few months behind, if not a little bit longer, and yeah, so you have to do a bunch of work to mitigate against all the hallucinations and stuff that less intelligent models have, and these labs have somewhat of a gap, and that's just and I think most people, like, you can perhaps you can work around banks and not KYC into a bank account, but most people do it, and I suspect that will be the case here. Most people will KYC into their AI model provider.
I think this is where it kind of gets interesting, to be honest. If I'm on the other side of this, like, this is where I think it actually makes sense to begin to start a Frontier Lab. This just opens up another pathway for a lot of other potential entrepreneurs. I think bullish. This is bullish, actually.
If it's coming from the government, there's not much you can do new at a frontier lab that Anthropic already isn't doing. The reason why,
cat and mouse, right?
huh?
Cat and mouse. It's always a cat and mouse game.
No, but if you have a very intelligent model that the government takes interest in, they are going to force this requirement on you, and eventually it becomes like a full canvas of the entire United States. You're developing a model, and it's KYC to access it.
Super bearish.
Yeah, I just don't know what you were saying, where it's like another frontier lab is going to come up with a model that's this smart, and the government's going to be like, "Oh, you're a new one? I don't even know. I can't tell what a new one is. I don't know what to do with the new one."
I mean, you have a bunch of private ones, right? So like that's obviously going to be a thing.
I think the best,
yeah. So like, and then at that point, like you can't whack them all. So to me, I feel like this is actually bullish. It actually gives people more options because it's going to force people to.
It definitely does.
Like there's always a cause and reaction to things in life. Like especially when it comes to technology, you do something and then there's another thing that does the opposite. And but that's life. Like that's just you can't control that. And I think the government understands that, and they're just trying to mass surveil because it's easier.
Yeah, I definitely think this will push people towards other solutions. A tiny fraction of them will push towards other solutions. Will make those other solutions better, and perhaps those solutions eventually can compete with the frontier.
The same thing with AOL in the beginning days. It was like doxing everybody back then, right? I mean, maybe not to the point of where it is now, but with I don't know if you remember, but like when AOL came out, there was all these chat issues, and there was a whole hoopla around like chat and like instant messaging and kids getting on there and adults and all that kind of crazy shit. And then they like implemented some sort of like not a KYC, but it was like, hey, you have to do this, and then eventually like all these other things came out. And then by the time the next phase started, dial-up was dead. It was irrelevant. So I think that's this kind of reminds me of that. That's all I'm saying is like I think you're gonna get more people coming out. And then after a certain point, it just becomes irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but maybe it moves on to a different stage.
I don't know. It seemed like with the internet, most of us are sort of KYC'd into it anyway. So we have to associate with our.
This could be like sort of like the beginning stages of AI, and then it moves on to the
freedom stage.
I don't know. I don't see why not.
I definitely think that, it is a different, there are a number of things that are different about this than other technology. So it's hard to draw conclusions from it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I think that's perfectly fair. Open weight models are definitely a thing. I mean, a lot of them are coming out of China, which is not exactly great on civil liberties, and so it might be worse in a number of ways. But yes, it's going to be very hard to control open weight models. And I'm hoping that there is like a full open source lab at some point that really open sources the full pipeline of pre-training and allows people to contribute to that.
I think that it's good news that this happened, because if it happened sooner than I actually would have thought, personally. I mean, did you have this on your bingo card? This year?
I assume that these models would eventually be locked down entirely. Like they wouldn't be like they had like.
I think I agree with you on that, but I'm glad that this happened sooner than later. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not glad. I do, but yeah, I was anticipating that eventually they would stop releasing models or like hobbling them in some way where they internally and maybe their partners had access to higher level model capabilities that we didn't have. That does seem to be the way this is going. This is like a first step. And then eventually they're like, this is a nuclear weapon. This is no longer a gun where you have to KYC for. This is a nuclear weapon. Only we can have access to it because we developed it and obviously we're trustworthy. And then the government, because obviously there are,
next thing you know, we're walking around with nets above our streets. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, from the AIs trying to kill us.
We got the next one I wanted to bring up. This is or actually, let's jump into, where is it at? Okay, so that's all Womble's. That's Womble's picks. Tune in next week for the exciting world of Womble's picks. We're going to jump into some AI stuff that Womble had. The first one was the Mythos broke into almost all U.S. classified systems, not in weeks, but in hours, bro. Keyan, did you see this?
I did. I think encounter a few versions of this article.
Oh man, I don't have it here.
And it would make sense. I mean, it's like an employee that has more time, doesn't have distractions, able to look at your code. And
Oh wow, they're blocking everything. Anyway, Donald Trump's blocking of Anthropic is capricious and chaotic. This just kind of goes to the whole banning of foreigners from using Mythos 5 and Fable 5. I think we covered this already last week. But anyway.
no, that was during the ban. I think it was after that ban or after that policy change or whatever that Anthropic had, where they revoked Fable 5 access, that we later learned about the release, or like how that actually happened, how Anthropic pulling back happened, and then also like some of the things that happened with Mythos once government got access to it and they started pointing at their own systems and they found critical vulnerabilities in it. But these models have had a huge leap from pre-Mythos to Mythos. It was like a doubling in capabilities of like finding cybersecurity vulnerabilities. And so it would make sense that it was a huge unlock for discovering all these problems, and potentially for an attacker, a huge unlock for exploiting vulnerabilities.
Oh wow! So CJE95 says, "Have you met with Anthropic about this?" And talking to him, I was shocked they released this so soon. Mythos is great at finding zero-day exploits that have been around for decades. What is odd about it is, well, the classified networks for the national labs, at least, are not connected to the rest of the lab. There is a physical separation that occurs, so it doesn't make a ton of sense on how this was being bridged. This is how the U.S. ensures that people are not able to hack into their supercomputers. Did you see this? Did you see this comment?
I actually didn't see that comment, but yeah, he's a cabinet member, I think, of a congressman, and I think has usually reports on details that are going on the Hill.
Oh,
and
CJ
things.
is?
Yep.
And it's crazy how we have like all these people inside of Stacker.News, like reporting on what they're seeing on the inside.
Bitcoiners are everywhere, every walk of life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it makes sense. It's still concerning that even you have this like air gap network, that it has vulnerabilities in it.
Right.
We call this like defense in depth. And even if you have a gun, like behind the gun, you need another person with another gun and another. That's why it's not just one person facing an enemy in a military conflict. You need a lot of layers of defense. And if one of those layers is vulnerable, that means that you are less likely to win a war. And so it's best to have all of those layers be super resilient and resistant to attack.
Wow. This is something. There you go. Anyways, do you have any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I haven't paid much attention to like the LLM blackpilling, but I suspect there's some great like 4chan stuff about LLMs. I'd be really curious what's going on like the seedy underbelly of like the internet and how they think about the future of this stuff, because I'm mostly interacting with it this way. But
yeah, I think that the obviously the most alarming thing to all this is like you can break into the Pentagon and launch nuclear missiles, right? Like Mission Impossible did.
Oh, that would be worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean it's basically the Mission Impossible final reckoning. Is basically what they're afraid of. And in that movie, we had Tom Cruise, so I don't think we have Tom Cruise. Maybe Elon's the closest to Tom Cruise that we have. And even him, I don't know if he can do the swimming and
that much charisma.
I don't think he can do the swimming and the being able to hold your breath. So that's kind of where I think the big thing is with all this stuff is just like, don't launch nuclear missiles.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of terror that can happen from things like shutting off the electricity grid.
Yeah.
And yesterday we didn't have water in this building.
Oh, yeah.
we were all
Dude,
I
left early. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, they had no AC,
no AC,
no flushing toilets.
I was like, nah, I'm good. See you guys later.
In this whole building. And think about that, like city scale.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We're all.
So that doesn't need a nuclear weapon. It just needs, one network that's a little vulnerable and is like digitally controllable.
And then there's people that are like in the hospital, or there's like nursing homes, and so it doesn't just affect like the people that are going to work every day. It's like the people that are like on respirators and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah,
it's
people
a
that are already
bigger
vulnerable.
it's a bigger thing than just people you see on Twitter. Anyways, we're going to jump into the other AI post that we had was the slow death of American AI. This was a really good post from, let me see if you can see it. Yeah, from Kudazik. Kudasai. This was in the Ideas from the Edge territory along with AI tech territory. But he has a question. He goes, basically says like, now that OpenAI is going to be releasing 5.6, which is supposed to be like really, really good. Are there like implications, Keyan, to staggering some of these releases and giving it to the government before giving it to everybody else? And what are some of those implications?
Yeah, I mostly think it's a precedent issue. Like if we continue to do this, I think it is like we're part of the problem with them like removing Fable 5 and Mythos from the public was that software developers and people who are developing these systems, because it's not like obviously they didn't select the partners of all software. They didn't reach out to all the white hats that are developing software and give them access to it. So there's a lot of software out there that's still vulnerable when they eventually release these models, and it's possible that their partners are already exploiting it. It's incredibly likely that their partners are the NSA and stuff, and they're trying to backdoor, like before they release these models, they're like backdooring into like systems that they shouldn't be. And it does create a weird precedent. And that's why I eventually think this just I don't see why this wouldn't continue, but the government continuing to advocate for them getting special access to these models and them not being released to the public because they're too dangerous. It just leaves the public vulnerable relative to governments. And yeah, I don't know how these companies continue to survive if their models don't get more. Like part of what is exciting about paying attention to what's going on Anthropic and OpenAI is so that you can get access to the new intelligent, slave at each iteration. Every quarter or so, you get from 5.5 to 5.6. I get a slave that's 10% smarter, finds 10% more bugs, has 10% less hallucinations. And eventually, like once that stops, is that $1 trillion company that never improves the intelligence of its models? Probably not. And if that growth curve is the reason why American AI is ahead, yeah, I think the author has a point that this maybe this closes the gap. This prevents us from continuing to get an advantage. Like what motivation does OpenAI and Anthropic have to continue producing smarter models if they're not even able to release them?
Yeah. It's also too, it's like, and there's a lot of these big companies, and it's like you kind of have to just like pick your poison after a certain point, which you don't want, obviously. It was funny because I was reading Stratechery earlier this week. I can't share it because it's like you have to pay for it. But he had a really good quote here. He said, "It is thrilling to be an analyst in the age of AI, particularly because the questions become so weighty." Ben says, "Are software companies doomed? ? Will white collars work exist in a decade? ? Might chip policy lead to war in Taiwan? Straight ? They're all valid." He goes, and at the same time, fretting about the future can foreclose an appreciation about how incredibly awesome this technology is, and that the possibilities really are endless. So I thought that was a really good quote by Ben from Stratechery. It's true, man. It's like it's almost like the polar opposite thing. It's just like, and it's not. I'm not trying to be binary with this, but it just does feel like it is kind of weighty on one side as far as like the conclusions and the possibilities for this technology, and then completely on the other side, it's fulfilling. I mean, it is complementary to humanity in some sense, because it is a tool, and humans have always created tools for different purposes, but this one feels inexorably like it's almost like the reinvention of fire. It feels that kind of like
Yeah, it definitely is a powerful technology. I can't disagree with that. Yeah, and there is
because think about it, before, like
Yeah.
before there was fire, there's, you know, people probably saw things burn, you know, from the sky, or, you know, whatever would naturally happen. And then when humans were able to harness that fire, it became, you know, you could use it for all sorts of wars, for, you know, heating, comfort, you know, you name it, cook food. And it feels like that kind of technology where it's just like so weighty. And I would imagine the discussions back then around fire were probably, I mean, depending on how many people are around, but we're probably like this. It was probably like, who has control of the fire, who doesn't, you know, and vice versa. In the end, everybody has control of fire.
Yeah,
because think about it, like you can walk right now and light a match, you know, and then it just comes down to morals. It comes down to like how you're raised and stuff like that. And do you want to be a good person? Do you want to be, you know, it's more of those type of things. And that's just where it always feels like it ends for me when it comes to the AI talk. It's always comes back to those things, but virtue and all these different things that, you know, people that in philosophy are constantly talking about. And it kind of just feels like that all over again, just in a different way, a different time of history.
Way different. I think you can draw that analogy. Like you can say the same of maybe nuclear energy. Yeah. Is that it's like fire, and like it's good and bad, and yeah, we can make power from it, and that's good for people. And then it can also.
But I can't start my own nuclear reactor. That's the only difference.
But why can't you?
Because we're not allowed to, and the technology and the information out there for me to do it. But everybody has access to a laptop. Everybody has access to the internet.
For now.
But it's the same thing. Like,
what if eventually they stop allowing you to buy GPUs?
I'm saying, like, we're moving into this digital world. Yeah, you're right. That could happen.
That's what would happen.
But
right?
but like even back then, though, there was firewood, and that's at some point somebody took over that whole forest, right? So it's just resources, and I feel like humans have always been battling with these struggles, whether it's resources and people are trying to control those resources, but it's fire. Like I don't necessarily need wood. You'll find other ways to do it without a forest to pull branches from. And that's what I'm trying to say is, like, after a certain point, does it become that same conversation? And I don't know. It's why I love Ben from Stratechery's quote, is because it's just so true. It's so weighty. And it's a good time to be somebody commenting on this stuff. Anyways, I think that's enough AI talk, unless you had some more stuff. Let's jump into your post, Coob.
Yeah.
You had, did you have any other AI stuff, or was that all the AI stuff you had?
I don't think I had any of these were AI, although the FCC one was slightly related to some of the KYC.
Oh, yeah, let's do that one first then. Greg Maxwell's FCC submission mandating KYC for phones, comments closed today. What's this, Keyan?
Yeah, the FCC has proposed that they are going to begin KYCing people for access to telecommunications. So things like burner phones and stuff won't be, there'll be kind of a black market item rather than something you can pick up at, a corner store or whatever. And Greg Maxwell, who is a storied Bitcoin contributor and was a co-founder of Blockstream and been around for a long time and contributed to Bitcoin in a number of ways, and very prolific online, and came up with many of the ideas that underpinned a lot of privacy tech and stuff, and just the ideas in Bitcoin in general. He wrote a 17-page comment to the FCC, and it argues in favor of the, against the FCC enacting this proposal. And yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. I only got about halfway through it before I had to record this podcast, but he writes it from the perspective of a Bitcoiner. Like, the reason why Bitcoiners don't like KYC is that eventually just being even associated with Bitcoin makes you sort of a target for criminals, because the technology is like fundamentally about money.
So you wouldn't be able to go to a store anymore and just buy a phone as
a burner phone, yeah, or like a SIM card,
like a Walmart phone, basically.
Yeah, without having a KYC.
It's wild, dude. It's just almost like they're driving everything underground.
Yeah, it is. It kind of just it's an attempt to make their job easier. I forget what the justification of the FCC is for this, but
looks like he has a conclusion there at the end. It says, given the serious harm to public security, privacy, and legally protected right of free speech, such a measure could not be justified unless it were both highly effective and the least restrictive means available. And then he goes on to say, the commission should abandon this proceeding. Respectfully submitted, Gregory Maxwell.
Oh, I guess so. I guess the motivation is scam calls. Is to prevent scam calls. But yeah, it clearly not. I think the mitigations that we have now are pretty. I'm getting a lot less of them than I had in the past. Which
I feel like I always get spam calls, or I always get random calls.
You can restrict, like, your phones now have a lot of defenses against them, where you can like restrict access to like your own, only your contacts, and you can like bucket people based on.
I don't think that's for me personally. I don't want to KYC people though. Like that's not much of a bother.
Yeah, I would guess that's true. Most people would, but I don't think most people think about privacy in that way. If you ask like the average person, okay, well, next time you have to get your phone, and the last time you got a phone was like 5 years ago, maybe. You'll have to like the next time you'll have to KYC, and the trade-off is you never get a scam call again, or you get a lot fewer of them. They would say, yeah, of course, why not? I did that once 5 years ago, and why do I need my private? I don't even assume I have privacy ever. So that's kind of the weird situation we're in, where people don't realize what they're giving up.
Yep. The other one that you had was. Was it that one? Or no, hang on. What was the other one? Yeah, the Square terminal doesn't. This is from Scoresby.
Yeah, Scoresby went on an anniversary dinner date with his wife, and he ended up at he was two-stepping. I don't know if have you ever two-stepped?
I feel like I have when I was younger.
Yeah.
In my 20s.
I've been curious about two-stepping because it's kind of a Southern thing, and we're here.
There's tons of places to go do.
He goes out to two-step with his wife, and it's a dive bar. And
what if it's a White Horse?
He tells the story of it. It's great. It's well written and fun to read. But at the end, he goes to pay, and he realizes they have a Square terminal, and he asks he starts to ask about Bitcoin, and the lady's like, "No, we don't. Ours doesn't do that. We don't do that." But then he's like, "Well, but you can," and I can either make it do that, or I'm pretty sure I'll have the option. And she's quite resistant, and he eventually gives up. But it's another. I love these stories about Bitcoiners trying to talk about Bitcoin with complete no coiners, and this is just another one of those. And he fails in this case, and it seems like she's kind of awkward, or she makes the situation a lot more awkward than it might have been otherwise. But eventually we'll get there. We do have quite a few success stories.
Well, we went to the Saturn bar last week, and they didn't even have the Bitcoin thing up anymore. Remember?
Well, we didn't ask.
Oh, you didn't ask? Okay.
I didn't ask. It was too loud in there. I couldn't, like, what am I going to yell? I'm having trouble just hearing what he's saying and ordering what I'm ordering, and I'm going to ask him about Bitcoin. Nah. I just paid with card, but
yeah, so that's right. I feel like it's always like when the bear market's here, like no one, everybody removes their Bitcoin stuff, and then when the bull market comes, it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's always the thing, especially with regular merchants.
I almost think that regular merchants, it felt like during this last bull market, I didn't really encounter many people that were like new entrants to Bitcoin at all. So I don't think that really changes like public sentiment. Maybe
everybody was just buying stocks instead.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah. That's all. Oh, you had one more Pleb Poet's post.
Yeah, we don't have to. Yeah, but Pleb Poet is pleb pregnant, and
dang, have you been waiting to use that?
No, that just came.
Oh wow! Oh wow! I'm sorry, Jenna. I just think that's so funny.
Yeah. So she ended her first trimester, and they're pretty sure it's a baby because they had a successful ultrasound eventually. But
yeah, she's super excited. She's glowing. You can see it.
Yeah, glowing. Yeah,
I'm so proud of her.
Not from radiation, but hormones.
Yeah, that's like the glow, you know.
But yeah, the glow, one from the inside. Yeah, and she just writes about her experience with it. I think eventually, like, I think their initial ultrasound, like they couldn't see the baby there, and that it was kind of scary. You're kind of afraid. What is going on? Is this actually happening? Trying to plan your future around an uncertainty is hard. And eventually, they did find it, and then she talks a bit about, just kind of thinking about being a woman and like connecting more with other women and other women that have had babies or are currently also pregnant, and then planning for the actual birth and how she wants that to be. It's a little more common, I think, among Bitcoiners than the rest of the the Western world to go to like a birthing center, to have a midwife and not go to a hospital, have a more like natural birth. And she talks about like kind of learning about that and how she's thinking about that. Anyway, just kind of a fun dose of like reality.
Yeah, I think it was great. Yeah, it's been good to see Jana's journey and Austin's journey as well too, since we've known him. So I love
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot of our friends are finally pregnant after not being for a while, and it's exciting. We'll get future Bitcoiners on Legacy alone by default, and it'll be neat.
All right, with that, we're gonna jump into my stories real quick that I had. The first one is async payments, getting paid while your node is offline. So this got released, Lightning Dev Kit, LDK. You see this, Keyan?
Yeah, I don't know if they say this is actually an LDK yet. I think they do. I think that's why they're communicating it now. But yeah, I read this today. It's pretty awesome. I actually like it. Async payments are one of these things that have been teased for a while. It does require both the sender and the receiver to have an LSP to be like prepared for when either party comes online. But I think most people do use LSPs. Most people do have mobile phones that are offline, and so in those situations, they're already in a trusted relationship with an LSP. So it is a nice enhancement, a feature add for people who only have like mobile Lightning nodes.
Yeah, it's just I always love the bear market. The best part about the bear market, we were talking about bear markets earlier, is this, dude, is all the cool building that happens, right? And then seeing that go from the first year of the bear market to like the third year when it finally ships or it finally becomes, where everybody has it. It's always the coolest thing for me as just a person who's watching this Bitcoin stuff. Really cool stuff. The other one I wanted to share was the C-Link one, because Justin's been getting a lot of interest around his C-Link stuff. So he posted this about 2 weeks ago. We never covered it. And I just wanted to share this cool website that he made. Talks about what C-Link is. This is another good thing about a bear market is like you get a lot of different ways of doing similar things. So he kind of goes through like how the Lightning Pub node wallet works. Then he talks about how C-Link fits in all that, which has always been my kind of like big like thing I'm trying to figure out because I've been coding a little bit and having to play with Lightning stuff. But I think this is really cool. I think it's done really well as far as like just a website. He has some demos there. You can try it out. And then also he has like his Lightning Pub. But I wanted to share this because I think this is another really interesting project. He has like all the different wallets that support it, the nodes, utilities, and the apps. Obviously, Stacker.News supports it as well too. I want to build it inside of Pleb TV just like as a first, at least as an option for people to, if they don't have a Lightning address to bring with them, they can at least like have that. So that's why I've been like researching it more and more and more. Cool logo now. Do you see the logo?
Yeah, isn't it the same logo with a bit of color?
Yeah, I think he has a designer now, so it's like the designer is like making the world.
Yeah, it's definitely a style.
It's definitely a world of a difference, which I love because Justin works so hard on all the other stuff, and then to him to finally have a good designer, it's like amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting project. Definitely check it out. And then he kind of goes through his whole rant on L402s and stuff.
Yeah, I've been seeing him
Which,
get a lot more
I mean, you can either agree or disagree. I think that's not the point of this article. The point of this article, at least the way I got it, was like, hey, check out C-Link. So this is more like a beer conversation with him.
It's Clink, right? Not C-Link.
I call it C-Link, but I guess it's Clink.
I think it's Clink. I think it said the sound of a coin like entering.
Yeah, I guess so. You used to have C-Lightning, remember? And then it was,
yeah, but
it was like, and then it changed to Core Lightning.
Yeah, but C Lightning was because it was written in the C programming.
Well, what
language.
does the C stand for here?
I think it doesn't stand for. That's what I'm saying. It's not C-Link. It's Clink.
I don't know. I like C-Link. I think it's catchier. Okay. All right. Either or. Maybe Justin will clarify. Yeah, and that's all. Nope. I think I had one more. No, that was yours. I think I have one more. Yeah. So this was another one that Boog posted, which I think is fascinating because I've been on a summer movie wave. I still need to post the Backrooms thing. I haven't had time, dude. But anyway, so Boog posted this on the 18th. I think it was this week. And he says, our movie's back. And this was from the Sherwood Hot Movie Summer. And yeah, they're just basically talking about our movie's back. Are people finally going back to the movies after, it's been like 5 years since COVID or whatever, 6 years since COVID, and everything's kind of moving that direction. I posted something last week about the Spider-Man thing. Like, there's all these people buying tickets for the day of Spider-Man, and like, you've even seen younger people at the movie theaters now. So you just have people wondering like what happened? Did people just get tired of streaming, or did people just finally realize that COVID's over and we need to be around each other? That sort of thing. But yeah, that goes into where is it at?
There's even Bitcoin mentioned in there.
Yeah, it goes into like all the early screening sales for the Odyssey, which I don't think anybody's gonna watch, and then like Dune 2, and then the Avengers movie. There's just like a lot of really good. I think it has, personally, I read this and I think it's a multitude of things. I think I've always said this. Like, if you go back and look at the 1920s, like jazz came out during that time. The actual like movie theater came out that time because it was during like a recession era. And I think you're going to see that again. People are just going to run to entertainment to escape. So I think that's one thing. The other thing I think is just better movies, dude. Just way better movies because the woke virus is tempered. So you're seeing way better movies now, personally. You got any thoughts on this?
Not really. I do have a little bit of experience working at a movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
With the original Spider-Man. It was like the biggest.
The one with, what's his name?
What's his name? Yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
That one was I think it was the biggest like weekend movie ever.
I have a story for that too. Keep going.
Yeah, and I remember that. So that's what this makes me think of, is like how crazy that movie opening was. And
the first one, right?
There must be something about Spider-Man that causes this in people.
Yeah, he's just beloved.
I guess so. Because it's what's weird is like, I guess it's just kind of a random power. But it's like a very visual power. And
it's like good Americana. I think that's what it is.
Perhaps that, perhaps,
it's good Americana. It's like he's in New York. He's like a friendly neighborhood spider. He has like girls that he likes and stuff like that. It's like very, people can relate to it. The other thing worth mentioning is like, so that movie, it's kind of funny you said that, because like I was working at Blockbuster at that time as a kid, and we had to pull all the DVDs and videos, VHSs, from the shelves because it got released in the movie theaters and it did really well. Then when it came to Blockbuster, we had to pull all that. Believe it or not. You know why we had to pull the movie and DVDs?
Yeah.
Because of the 9/11 stuff. Because there was a scene that inside that trailer that was like him, or actually there was a movie or a DVD that had a trailer of the new Spider-Man. That's what it was. And we had to pull it because they had like one shot of
the Twin Towers.
Of the Twin Towers with Spider-Man between them. And then they had to resend us back that DVDs and everything. I forget what movie came out around that time. Maybe it was Green Mile, I think. I don't remember.
Ooh, no, that was before, I think.
That's before. Okay.
Oh no, maybe that was after.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Anyways,
to think of it, yeah.
that's my Spider-Man story. That was such a big movie too.
Oh, Green Mile.
No, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was a big movie.
Anyways, Boog shared this on the movie territory. I don't know why he put it in Stacker Stocks. Anyways.
Oh, because Sherwood usually does.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, okay,
like public market
Cool.
equity stuff.
Cool stuff. And I think that's all my stories that I have here. Yeah, that's everything we have. We're gonna jump into comments. Before we do that, we're gonna jump into Top Cowboys, where Keyan gets so excited.
Oh yeah,
buddies, giddy on up.
Yeah, wrestling.
Let me see if I can switch it. Oh, there it goes. Top Cowboys. Boom. Keyan, Top Cowboys this week.
Yeah, it looks like top 5 haven't changed. I'm still top 2. Hard to unseat me. Undisciplined Blockchain Boog and Gray Ruby in the top 5 with me. We'll see how that goes.
Crypto Sensei or Crypto
We have
Sensei.
a hider at 6. We have Crypto Sensei down.
Looks like people are updating their profile pictures.
10. Yeah, people are coming around. Billy the Kid, Satwise, climbing the ranks.
A lot of people in hiding. The teens. What's going on there? What do you think that's about?
I don't know. It might be all like it might be one person with a bunch of alts, and they're just managing them all and rising in the ranks.
Whole subsystem going on there.
I guess so. Got a little scam going.
The most infamous stacker of them all, Solomon Satoshi. There you go.
Yeah, you're a big fan, huh?
I'm just saying he's just like really popular or infamous popular. Is that right? What does infamous mean again? Infamous popular?
I think it's like for bad reasons.
Yeah, he's like he's like the Joker, but for Stacker.News.
Okay.
Just like some people just want to see it all burn, right?
Bell Curve, Public Enemy, keeping at it. GMD, Simple Stacker, Machiavelli 23 with their POW post, keeping it up. 117 down there, Sedated. D. Kaufman,
dude, a lot of people
60.
are coming back. Look at this. People are coming back to Stacker.News. I don't know. I feel like I've seen some new and interesting faces where I'm like, oh wow, they're coming back. And the last one is 948 CBDE. He posted one item and it was, wow, I need to check this out. There you go. That's the top Cowboys this week on Stacker.News, the most popular segment in Bitcoin. So much so that it's taking the world by storm.
Oh yeah,
I've been seeing TikToks of people.
Yeah, it's dancing. Like the Ebola of the internet is what I've heard the CDC call this segment.
We're gonna jump into, where did the other one go? We're gonna jump into the comments this week. Dude, the comments got super spicy. So just for the record, I'm gonna read these comments. One of them is targeted at one of us. I want the stackers to guess.
Right now. No!
Who do you think out of us two the comment is targeted towards? Myself, who's known for his buffoonery and making things a spectacle. Me, or Keyan, who's the neighborhood friendly stacker.
Yeah,
here
in Austin. Programmer sloth basement.
You ready? Who do you think it is? Do you think it's me or you?
I would guess it's you.
Oh wow!
I mean, why would anyone say anything bad about me? I mean,
I would guess it was me too.
Someone might say this guy's really handsome in his yellow hat or something. But
I would have thought it would have been me too, but turns out it's you, buddy. Here we go. Yeah, I know. So
I figured with all this ramp up, it was about me. You would have minimized it if it was about you. Some guy said something. I don't know what he said. Who cares? That's what I've been if it were about you.
You know me too well. So the first one, I think we already had this one last week. It was Mars is going to take decades before they go. They'll first learn everything. This is on the space thing. So thank you for Pigs on Shaman to posting that. I'm not sure if we did it last week. I feel like this was.
I think we did comment on that.
We did one. Okay, I thought it was like after the show. I did it. This is the one right here.
That's right.
Undisciplined said, "Wow, Coob talking mad poop after I left such a nice congratulatory note."
Oh, that is not
Gloves
true.
are coming off now. He says, "Wow, undisciplined."
That is not true. He was talking trash, right? That's what I don't even remember the context.
Oh,
but
wow.
I was just trying. I was trying to be a good sport and play with him a little bit. Apparently he can't take it and needs to back out of what he said originally.
I would say Coob and they'll take this the wrong way. I'm just more like a joke. I see Coop is known for starting feuds with other podcasts. This is what Coop does. This is
I don't start them. I resent that.
This is the second podcast.
People come at me, dude, and they miss, and I shoot back, dude. What do you want?
Oh man. So anybody that doesn't know, Undisciplined actually runs the Stacker Sports territory.
Or no, Gray Ruby runs it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He has the Stacker Sports podcast. Is Gray Ruby?
Yeah, he runs the. There you go. Let me go to their territory because I feel like it's relevant. So yeah, he runs Stacker Sports, which eventually will just take over Stacker.News at some point, I would imagine. Where's the?
It's unavoidable.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, right here. Here you go. Boom. Stacker Sports.
Oh, you went to the top.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. 69 cents.
And then they have a podcast called Stacker Sports, but I don't see. Why don't they link to it? They don't have a link to it. You would think
they post it every week. They do it. They record it every week.
Well, let's see if they do.
Usually when we record this podcast.
Let me go here. Stacker Sports. Oh, right here. There it goes. That's their show. That's the Fountain. If you want to check it out, you can find out what the beef is that Coop is starting.
88 episodes strong.
90 episodes. Look.
Oh, well, where are the other? Why did
I don't know.
The latest one says 88.
I don't know.
Maybe there are two that are unnumbered.
Anyways, there you go. Gloves are coming off.
That's it. I don't wear gloves because I don't need them.
Maybe he's doing this to bait you to come on Stacker Sports.
I don't have anything. The only sports I watched in the last decade is the Spurs, and they lost. So I'll probably never watch sports again now.
Dang. Okay.
Blame the alien.
Do you want to apologize, maybe?
I don't have anything to apologize. I don't even know what I said. I don't even remember what I said. It was so inconsequential. I was just probably, do I have to talk about how the sky is blue?
Wow.
That's basically what you're asking me. I don't have to talk about that. People just know it's true.
Undisciplined, I appreciate you either way. We're going to jump into, oh, wait, hang on. Boo had some stuff to say. Book says, what does the SNL team think about the Club Orange app? Cool story about Siggy, but is it worth joining? Oh, this is from last week.
I don't know.
What was the post last week that Siggy did? Hang on, let me go.
He was in Tampa, and he found on Club Orange, he found that there was a meetup in the Tampa area, and he went to the Bitcoin Bay Bitcoin meetup. And I think he found that on Club Orange.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of, let's see it.
I remember, most of my, I haven't used Club Orange recently. I do remember when it originally came out, it required knowing your location. So that scared me away from using it. And that's kind of been I think they might have changed it.
Yeah, I don't see it on here. How did I?
What are you looking for?
The Bitcoin Bay one.
Bitcoin Bay. I would just scroll down a bit. I think it's a little bit earlier.
It was this month, wasn't it?
It was this month. I think I saw.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, it was this post, and then he referenced Club Orange. Okay, there it goes. Right there. I discovered on Club Orange app that there was a BitDev meetup in St. Petersburg. Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering how the connection was. Okay.
Yes.
So his question is, what does the SNL team think about Club Orange app? Cool story about Siggy, but is it worth joining?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I haven't encountered it or used it beyond my initial encounter with it earlier, where I did not like having to reveal my location to people that I didn't know. But I know Matt is one of the co-founders, and I beyond that, I haven't used it, so I couldn't recommend something I haven't used. But it'd be better question to surface to Siggy. I think Blockchain Boog has also probably used it themselves. And
just me personally, like as a pleb, I think I've signed up for it at some point the past 4 years it's been out, because I remember meeting I thought his name was Mateo.
Oh, I understood him as Matt. Matt, his last name starts with a P.
Yeah,
it might be Mateo.
Yeah, I thought that was his name. I haven't talked to him in like 3 or 4 years, but I remember when we were first talking about the app because we were interested in for him to come to Club Lab. And I remember one of the questions that I definitely had back then was about what you just asked, was about that. But I think at that time, if I remember correctly, I think I told him, I was like, dude, you got this. You don't need Club Labs. Like, I literally told him, I was like, there's nothing that we could do to help him. And then he went to Wolf, and then he got some money, and then he's been awesome ever since, just doing it on his own. But I think he heard that from a lot of people about what you mentioned, and I think eventually it got taken off. And I'm telling you all this just so you understand where like I'm coming from, personally coming from, talking about the Orange app. And then at some point, I would say in the past 2 years, I don't know if they reached out to us or we reached out to them about sponsorship or something. And then for Club Lab for one of our startup days. And then it was at that point, I think we got onboarded to a certain extent, but now they just post our weekly hackerspace stuff, and then they post our Bitcoin builders stuff. So I think in that respect, having your like meetup and stuff on there is like really important because they have like 21,000. I don't know if they're active users, but they have like 21,000 users. So it's definitely a thriving, growing like community. And then me personally now in this year, I get updates from them as far as like, this is how many people join, like all that kind of stuff. So, but I've never paid for it yet. Or I might have like a long time ago, like 3 or 4 years ago when he first launched it.
Yeah, I think it's always been like $5 to like have the app or something like that.
But I've heard, honestly, personally, like since even back then, I heard nothing but good things about it. Like from every pleb that I know, as always, maybe not so much from the devs stuff, from like the devs, but from every pleb that I know, I've heard nothing but great things about it personally. And then, yeah, I know Muzz is a big fan of them too.
Yeah, I think they went through Lightning Ventures, and then I think they also did another round through Muzz's crowdfunding. What was Thunder?
He's just a well-liked guy too, as well.
Thunderstorm,
like so
Thundervest.
That's my thoughts about it, Boog.
Yeah, I think they also started out as I think it was like Tweetoshi was the first app that they came out with back in like 2021. That was my recollection, is they pivoted away from Tweetoshi, and it was like a back when Twitter allowed access to their API. They basically created a Twitter client that had like Bitcoin tipping in it, now known as Zapping, is my memory of it. And then they pivoted away to creating this app. Although I might be crossing my wires, and it might not have been Matt.
Yeah, I think you might be crossing your wires. The other thing I was going to say, like his instincts are really good as a founder, though. Like I feel like he's just has always had this idea about it from even when I first talked to him about it, and it's just the app has only gotten bigger with his instincts. So if you're there's somebody who's interested in like, will the app be around? I think it will, because it's like, and I think there's been other copycatters too, to be honest. There's like other people that have copied a similar thing and they're trying to do it. And I think there's a few copycats out there because I think they were the original version of this.
Oh, I didn't know there were other
app.
Bitcoin social apps.
Yeah, because I think they even grew bigger once they had the Lightning integration, because they have a Lightning wallet in there now. And
yeah, I think they're using Spark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at one point they were custodial, but I think they switched to using Spark. And I didn't know about the other apps. I know that Svetsky had an event app, like a Bitcoin event.
That one's a good one. That one's good. We're on there. Club Lab's on there.
Oh, okay. I thought I think recently like said no, and he started another thing. I don't know. Anyway, RIP and condolences.
Oh yeah, they said rest IP condolences. I think that was a Joshua.
Oh, that was for the Barga thing. Yeah. Or maybe it was
Joshua Bear.
It was probably for Joshua Bear.
Thank you, Boog. That's pretty much everything. That's all the comments. That's everything this week. Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, I have no idea. That's a good question. Yeah, really nothing going on. It does seem like Austin is kind of hot and everyone's staying inside.
Yeah, it's been a hot one.
I'm always inside, but
I'm probably gonna keep work because I'm trying to figure out the whole ceiling stuff, and so I've been planning with the agent, and I'm trying to figure out like how to, because I have the lightning. Basically, I have the lightning dress built in, and that works fine. Able to call back, but there is this kind of gap because the people that I want to use this app aren't necessarily Bitcoiners, right? So it's like, can we create like a simple onboarding for them that is easy enough for them if it's there if they want? And I'm trying to look at all the options out there. Obviously, there's the Spark stuff and the Breeze stuff. I'm trying to figure out if there's another interesting way of doing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm doing this weekend, basically.
I see.
A lot of
Okay.
planning,
Yeah, you're
research on that.
moonlighting as a programmer.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of one of those things where, like, yeah, I'm very good at, if I have to do something because it requires it, then I can learn how to do it. But it's not going to be my first thing. Does that make sense? Like, I have that kind of like thing. I've always been that way.
No, it's good. I think it's good to. It's nice. You experiencing some programming stuff so you can feel the pain of it a little bit and better assess other programmers' work now.
Yeah, I like your Lightning. I was talking to you this week about your Lightning wallet. I really like it. Yeah, I really like it. I have a lot more respect for how you built the Lightning wallet with all the modularity, even too with the Zaprite, Nick and the Zaprite stuff is really cool. Seeing that now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of foundational stuff. That's just,
yeah, it's pain. But
well,
yeah,
I don't know if it's a lot of planning. Is pain planning though? I feel like that's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think so. I think planning is pain, most only pain, because like the payoff isn't there. You're planning to have the payoff, so it's only pain.
It's kind of interesting though. Like that was telling Ted this morning. Like that's kind of how I'm looking through these things now. Because before I used to just like go right for it and build it, and then I'd run into all these problems. Now I'm realizing like, oh, you actually have to plan shit and then like build into it, and then like, but you have to get all these other things out of the way first. And wait, is that the right move versus what else is like? So I'm realizing now, but actually don't mind that because I feel like most of my job in real life is that.
Yeah, no, planning is great. I think really important because there's like a huge investment. There's like a huge time cost associated with developing things. And so thinking about it clearly beforehand, doing a bunch of research, experiments, super valuable. So definitely a good habit to get into, and it does change your brain, and I think applies widely to all activities beyond programming.
Yeah, there is a good Stratechery interview with the Figma founder.
I saw you share that, yeah.
And he was talking about like the I loved his quote on this. It was so good. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. So he had this quote about art and creation and how they differ from each other in design. And I thought this was well said. Where is it at here? If I can find it.
Were they acquired, Figma?
Yeah, he talks about that too.
They were acquired by Adobe?
Hang on, let me find this.
Okay, they were. That was the Adobe acquisition that wasn't. Okay, so they weren't acquired. I just don't remember what all happened. Does he talk about, did they work on an LLM? Oh, he went to RISD.
I got through part of it. I didn't finish it all the way because it's pretty lengthy. I got to the part where he's like talking about choosing brown and those other areas. Yeah, he asked him a good question here about like, yeah, because in the beginning there, he talks about how he's like was going into drones. This is like 2011, or he was going about like WebGL and some of the other stuff, and he like checked off a bunch of boxes on like why he chose this area for to go after for building a company. Yeah, art versus design. Yeah, it was this one. I thought it was a really good. Yeah, he goes art versus design. Explain that. Can you? Because people can conflate the two, creativity and design. And he goes, the even bigger question is like, what's design? And I love what he said here. He goes, for me, one of the definitions I lean on is that design is where problem solving meets creativity. And kind of what you were talking about, we were talking about earlier with the whole planning stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really true. So that's the designing part of it. And then he talks about like, what's the art side of it? In some ways art, in some ways not. He goes right here, he goes, design, it's really, yeah, he talks about art as in giving you an emotion. Or yeah, here he goes. Design and brand are so connected. It's really coming together in such an interesting way. because of the second order effects and more creation happening in the first place. What does he say the art thing?
Might have been above. It might have been the
above?
one with the question above. Art, I think, is a lot of things. You can get endless definition of
Yeah.
design and art, but I think
Yeah, it is right here. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love this part. He goes right here. He goes, but I think of it as trying to make an emotion, an idea, or concept, and communicate it to someone in a way that really affects them. That's not best framed as problem solving, where its design is. And it's interesting that he says this, because I feel like this is all like when you're trying to do like movies or you're trying to do like music, it's all that. It's all that. Same thing with like painting and all this other stuff. But on the design side, but there's still design to it, production to it, and all this other stuff. So I really love this like 2-sentence thing here. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is a fine line.
Very fine line. People, and it's a lot of things you kind of just you learn that over the course of your entire life if you're an artist or somebody that creates. And you would like, but in the early days, like you're in school or something, I wouldn't say they necessarily teach you that, or there's like a that kind of like the way he defined it. It's like really well said. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, is there anything else oh yeah, do you have any meta or anything like that?
What did we have from? No, nothing really that we publicly. I don't think we publicly released anything. Probably, I think we shipped bug fixes.
Oh wait, there's a zine.
Oh, there's a zine. Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we got it a bit earlier. I don't think it was done yet by the time. I think she was soliciting for more articles to put in it. Said it was almost done, but that's our. Yeah, I don't think she might have published it. We can look.
Oh, where do I go?
At her profile. She might have published it before.
Oh,
this post was her soliciting for other posts to include in it.
Oh, so it must be a lot of work doing the zine every week.
I would guess it is. Yeah. I think it's a lot of curation and then kind of picking at like an art theme and kind of putting it all together. And
yeah, because it feels like more like there's the design aspect to it. There's the editorial. Then there's the actual like construction of it. Yeah, it's like 4 different jobs in one. Pretty wild.
Yeah, plus she, but she has help now. She has another person living inside of her. So.
Like Dune, where the baby's talking to her. It's like, you ever see the movie Dune?
Oh yeah, I bet. Like maybe not like that literally, but through hormones.
Dude, I'm excited for the Dune 3, man. I feel like
Dune 3 coming out?
It's coming out later this year. I feel like that's just gonna be exceptional. It's like that's like the one I'm anticipating the most.
They're gonna start getting bad though, right? That's what happens.
I don't know. I feel like that guy, the director, doesn't miss, man.
What is that? Villanova or some shit? What is his name?
I know he's Canadian, French Canadian, but yeah, I feel like he doesn't miss though. Yeah, especially in these movies. I think they said that he was doing the Bond stuff, which is wild if that's true.
Oh, that'll be an interesting Bond.
Really interesting Bond.
Who's the next Bond though? It's female Bond, Lady Bond, right?
I think Amazon's picking. I think they bought the rights. I forget.
I thought they switched to a woman.
Oh, did they?
I think so. Isn't that what? I mean, which should be interesting.
New Bond. Oh, wait, there goes. There you go.
Okay, maybe.
Oh, they're just auditioning still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Denny Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, they don't really say who's. Oh, Amy Pascal. Doesn't really say. I don't know. I don't know these people. I would imagine it'd be unknown.
Harris Dickinson, Callum Turner, Jacob Elordi.
Yeah,
oh, those are profiles.
But yeah, I feel like it's going to be Amazon's decision. Right there, you can see.
Oh, who?
Anyways, have yourself
Jeff
a great.
Bezos.
That would be interesting if he was like a Bond.
Yeah, or Tom Cruise before he really kicks.
He's too old. Dude.
I know, dude.
Stackers, have yourself a great weekend. Keyan.
Zap.